go. So I ask that you please release your grip. It doesn't show a wrinkle when I lie. I'm good at it. I hate myself sometimes. And I wanna know your worries and your fears. I heard you got married late last year.
Hello, nerds. It's time for another. Oh shit! What's my mic? Why is my mic being like this? Too loud. Okay, here we go. It's time for another couch. I can't talk today. It's time for another. It's time for yet another Couch Tomatoes movie chat, and I've got my good buddy, my bestie, my friend of friends. Very Jesus-like. My buddy Justin. My very Jesus-like introduction from my buddy Justin here. Hi, Justin Jesus. How's it going?
Hi, how's it going?
Get me on screen here. All right. We talk about movies because we really
Yeah,
we really like movies. I don't know if you knew that. Like movies might be my special interest. My main special. Hi, kitty. My main special interest. I've got a cat
movies are
right
definitely
here.
my favorite.
What's that?
Movies are definitely my main special interest.
So lately, Van Meter, Iowa has been my special interest. I know more about Van Meter, Iowa than probably most people, except people who maybe live in Van Meter, Iowa.
Interesting.
Yeah. Um.
Why?
Oh. Can you say something again? I forgot to do your level shit.
Something
Oh, your level's
again.
fine. I didn't touch you. Okay. I'm running a D&D D20 modern game that's 19 year set in the 1999. That's very sci-fi channel, like supernatural meets X-Files meets I don't know, something else. And it's just all it's basically supernatural and conspiracy weirdness. Anyway,
Cool.
Van Meter, Iowa is the home of the Van Meter Visitor, who is a little known cryptid. I would say one of the lesser, maybe third tier cryptid for a very small town. Like it took them until season 4 or 5 and Expedition X to be able to even get to Van Meter, Iowa. So put that in perspective.
Wow.
So in 1903, Van Meter Visitor is seen, allegedly attacks, swings at people, tries to take someone away. It's been shot at several times, and it fled to an abandoned mine north of the town. The townspeople went there and sealed the mine. And then in my role-playing game, suddenly the sightings begin again. This time, I've actually the people who reported the sightings and reportedly were the mob that chased the creature and all that stuff were 9 upstanding members of the community. And there's a photo of all of them. They're all white. They have all these very, very, regular ass names, and then suddenly there is Mr. Smith. No identified last name, no identified first name, just Mr. Smith. So I am using Mr. Smith as like a big bad for my game, but like, what would 9 outstanding citizens of the white complexion what would they possibly be chasing out of town and calling a monster and covering it up, perhaps saying it's a cryptid. I wonder why
Yeah.
that would happen. That's the mystery I'm having unfold. It turns out none of my players are watching this, but it turns out the original incidents were a cover up, and the current visitor's revenge.
Oh.
So that's the kind of working on that. Anyway, sorry. I was inspired by Darkness Falls and about a dozen other movies, but yes, I know Darkness Falls was not great, but I love the premise. I might steal the premise, in fact. Anyway, so we were talking about movies. I'm sorry I babbled about Van Meter, Iowa, my newest obsession. I was literally looking at demographic, or what's not demographic? What's the word? The stats for people who lived and died in that area. That's what I was looking at. Because I was like, I need to find out who left in 1903. All right.
Yeah.
So here we are. We last left off. We watched Everything Everywhere All at Once. And we finished that up. We followed that up with. Do you want to talk about the Samaritan, starring our friend of the show, Sylvester Stallone?
Just to say that it's very mid. It's extremely generic. Like
Very mid. That's hardcore. But it's
it,
true.
when I say generic though, I mean like the names of the characters are all extremely generic. It definitely feels like a first run script that was supposed to have more added to it, but they never bothered. They just said, "Let's go with
It
this.
feels
It's
anemic.
fine. It'll be fine."
Feels anemic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Feels a bit light on content. It feels padded in a way in scenes. Like there's just long stretches of like shots. It just feels so padded.
Nobody told them to add anything out of the ordinary to it. In fact, I'm
And
sure they were told to keep it exactly to the archetype.
and let
You
me
know?
tell you when I say that you will see the twist coming from 10,000 miles away. The
Oh
twist
yeah.
can be seen from space. Someone on the moon said, "Oh,
They
I see what they're
just
gonna
keep
do,"
hinting at it. Yeah, they just keep hinting at it over and over and over
and they
again.
make too broad of a stroke on their revealing of details, and it's just too obvious by like 20 minutes in. Like we made a joke during the opening. What was gonna happen?
It's a film that is trying to be like a dark adult film,
Mm-hmm.
but it just it's written like it's a children's book.
Mm-hmm.
It's so weird. See spot run and then run through blood. Like it's trying to
Like
be dark and disturbing, and it's just failing
it
because
has
it comes
potential.
across like it's intended for very young
I think I
viewers.
was I was so disappointed because Sylvester Stallone's here, right? It
Mhm.
has potential. It has potential just on the premise, but like I don't know. I need to see Overlord, which is by the same director, and that's supposed to be pretty good.
Oh
And
my
then
lord!
is he doing a Van
Well,
Helsing
name the
movie?
series
What?
called
Apparently he's working on a Van Helsing movie next. Cool. All right. Hopefully it's better than the
Cool.
last Van Helsing. Did we watch this together? I thought that I
Yes.
watched it with someone else. I watched it with someone else. Yeah, it wasn't with you. Okay. Uh, next. Yeah, I gave it a thumbs down. Samaritan was a thumb down. Big thumbs down for me.
Yeah,
I'll probably never watch it
it
again.
was like it was this for me. It was
Yeah, no, but like I'm either thumb up or down. That's it. That's it. If you're a
yeah.
5 or a
Well, then
10
it's a
out of
thumbs
10
down.
less,
Yeah.
if you're a 5 out of 10 or less, thumbs down. That's it. It's my hard rule. Unless I'm like really attached to some element of it, but we'll see. Anyway, One Crazy Summer, 1986
Um,
summer comedy film.
is what I never saw.
Me
I
either.
think like I saw it. I saw like the box art for the VHS on the Blockbuster store shelves all the time. Like
Right?
you can't miss it. It's always there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And um, I remember being intrigued and like really liking the artwork on it because it's really cool artwork, the big smiling sun and everything.
Yeah.
But that like every time that I would bring it to my mom and be like, "Hey, can I get this?" She'd be like, "No, I think that's too adult." And
Moms.
honestly, it kind of wasn't though.
It wasn't.
But
We watched it. Just it wasn't that bad at all, honestly.
regardless, like no, it was actually a really good movie and I really enjoyed it.
Here's
Yes.
a funny thing. Your mom wouldn't let you rent One Crazy Summer, but I bet she let you rent Revenge of the Nerds, isn't she?
No.
Really? Okay.
Nope.
Revenge of the Nerds was like, there's a serious question about consent in one of the
But I
interactions in the
mean,
movie.
she did at my brother's insistence get things like Terminator 2 and
Oh well,
whatnot.
that's
So I ended up
yeah.
seeing stuff that was not for children anyways. And
Terminator 2 is a
like
family film. Whatever.
yes, the family film Terminator 2.
Oh, where's my Muppet Terminator? Come on. And the Terminator's
Need more
played
Muppet
by like
movies.
a fucking AI controlled robot or some shit. Like a fully animatronic creature. That'd be really cool. Um Yeah, okay. For Godzilla fans, you're gonna want to watch this because there is a Godzilla-esque character in this. They do like they're like there's a whole segment with them with the guy in a Godzilla suit, basically.
Mhm.
It's really good. I really enjoyed this. I thought this was gonna be like most 80s comedies and 90s comedies for that matter, and 70s comedies, especially the sex comedies, are
It
big
just
yikes on bikes.
yes, that they have lots of moments that we didn't realize at the time were yikes, but they were
Right?
definitely yikes.
Yeah. Oh, geez. Some of those were really bad, too.
Yeah,
Uh,
this one didn't have as many of those moments, so I actually kind of
yeah.
liked that about it. And
There was a few. I feel like there was
yeah,
some words exchange I didn't appreciate, and like I think there was some like gay bashing, perhaps, if I remember correctly. But it wasn't like a huge
I can't
amount. I
remember.
mean, like
Yeah,
speaking of Revenge of the Nerds, a movie that came out around the same era,
yes,
that movie's far more offensive. As much I like that movie, but there's definitely like some questions of consent.
yeah.
There's some racial material that's probably insensitive now. A bunch of
In
other stuff.
comparison to other movies of that era, it feels like less problematic, I guess.
Yeah, it's definitely less problematic than the average
But I could see myself
80s,
like
70s
definitely
movie.
going to get this on Blu-ray at some point. If
It
it is on
it's not on
Blu-ray,
Blu-ray. I think it's still on VHS.
well then it never made it to DVD.
I don't think legally it's ever been on DVD.
Wow.
I think that's a bootleg that's out there, but that could be wrong. That could be an official DVD. I want a Blu-ray. This is like
Yeah,
ready
I want
for
this in my
literal.
collection. That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
absolutely. This is a thumbs up. This is a big thumbs up.
Yes,
It's I really fucking enjoyed this movie.
hell
Uh,
yeah.
shit. Okay. Do you want to talk about the Unknown Dimensions documentary? Or you want to pass that up?
No, I will just say on that it was a good documentary that revealed at least a few details about the Paranormal Activity movies that we did not know.
it does strangely start off by like as like a here's a history of found footage, but
Yeah.
not really because we're gonna skip a bunch of key movies you should fucking know, like The Connection, or Punishment Park, or shit like anything like a whole bunch of other movies. But it stops doing that for like 12 and a half, 15 minutes, and
Yeah,
starts focusing
it
only on
starts
paranormal
off like
activity.
it's trying to be about the entire genre, and then immediately just boom. Never mind, we're going all about paranormal activity and nothing else.
Yeah,
It's
it
like,
felt a little
why
disjointed in
didn't
that
you
matter.
just chop off the beginning and
Yeah,
go from there?
I don't
Like,
think the part about the origins of found footage were kind of necessary for this particular documentary,
yeah,
especially
there's already a
since
documentary about the
especially since we just watched that found footage documentary.
yeah, which was
Documentary
very
about
good.
found footage. Um, I give Unknown Dimensions a thumbs up, but it's barely.
It's a skip the first 10 or so minutes, and
Yeah,
you'll be good.
I just yeah. I don't have anything to say about Sasquatch. I don't know if you do.
Nope.
How about Hitchcock's Frenzy?
Frenzy was fucking fantastic. I was shocked.
Yeah,
I kept thinking after the fact that like this might even be up there with some of my favorite Hitchcocks. Like this was really good, and um, even from the very beginning of the movie, there's the shot where you see the nude dead body
hmm
at some point, and I thought to myself, "Holy shit! I don't think I've ever seen a Hitchcock movie that showed a nude dead body on the
he
beach or
he
whatever the
started going
fuck."
a little harder in this era because it's
Yeah,
like it's the early '70s and things are starting to get a little more extreme, and you kind of
yeah.
had to
And
compete.
it's like he's trying to compete, but it's
Yeah,
like
he's like, I can go
it
hard
is
too. He says.
sort of tasteful, and
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
yeah,
He's not sleazy enough to do it right. That's the problem.
yeah. He treats the this that kind of a scene more like a Renaissance painter would, or at least tries to. You know what I mean? He's trying to affect that, beauty in the human body, even amidst the macabre kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it, I guess it kind of worked a little bit in that moment, but it was more off-putting to me because I've never seen that in the Hitchcock movie. And so I'm like, maybe you didn't even need to do that, Hitchcock, because we already know what to expect from you. And I was not expecting that, you know, and I
This is
would have been happy without it,
this is my
you know.
second time seeing the movie. I saw it the first time with my ex girlfriend. She was super into like she is super into Hitchcock. So I watched a few with her, and I can't remember which ones I watched with her, watched with you, and watched with her. It's all kind of muddled in my brain because I can't remember shit. This is why I keep lists on Letterboxd. I really can't remember things very well. But also, I deleted her Letterboxd list because I wanted to stop looking at her name basically. So
Okay.
you know how it goes. So I don't have the listing of what I watched with her anymore. Whoopsie. But yeah, I really enjoyed it the first time. I enjoyed it more the second time.
Yeah.
The compositions here, as you expect from Hitchcock, are excellent. The acting is top notch. Like you said, Hitchcock's here doing a proto slasher, his first real proto slasher. But I
Yeah. It's
still
like on
argue
the edge of being horror, but it's
it is
not.
horror. It's a horror film.
I wouldn't say it is.
I
I
would
would say
say that
it's more
Frenzy.
suspense.
I would say Frenzy is an actual horror film. It's a proto slasher. Like it's actually straight up. I
Fair.
think it's one like a lot of his
Uh,
movies are suspense films, but I think this is one. This one and The Birds, in particular, are his horror films because they,
Not to mention a movie that probably shouldn't be brought up, but it does. There. I could tell that there were elements of this movie that went on to inspire Silence of the Lambs.
Oh, absolutely.
Like,
I mean, Silence of the Lambs has problematic content, but it's
yes,
still a great movie. It's
it's
just
great. It's a great movie. It's
this
just
scene makes me
oof.
cringe.
It's
You
just
know?
oof.
Yeah. There's a few scenes that make me cringe. Like, ooh, okay. But like the rest, it's really good. It's like the one scene, the few, like the 2, 3 scenes don't ruin the movie. It just leaves a bad taste in my mouth.
Yes.
Yeah. I give Frenzy 2 thumbs up, 2 big thumbs up. I can clearly see that if Hitchcock lived longer, he would have gotten into like more giallo-esque stuff. I really feel like it.
Probably, yeah, I could see that.
He would have probably leaned into that. It would have been really cool if he would have seen some giallo and got like a fucking cinematographer who had worked on giallo who can do all the cool crazy colors and shit. Hitchcock with that kind of lighting control and insanity.
Can
Oh,
you imagine what Hitchcock would have looked like in the '90s? Like what his kind of style of
I
filmmaking would have looked like in the '90s?
I
I
don't know.
can't
Would he
because
been
I'm just like
alive
it
in the
seems
90s?
so far. No, no, no. As I'm just saying, like imagining that he had been alive and still making movies at
Cause
that
yeah,
time.
like him directing in the '80s would have been a tenuous thing at best to begin with. But like
Yeah, and that's why I'm just like I don't think it would have played in the '90s. I feel like
in the '90s,
audiences
no.
would
In
have
the '80s for
rejected it.
sure. But he would
Yeah,
have had been that much more sleazier, I think. I don't think he would have enjoyed filming that though.
yeah. He probably would have done one movie that bombed and then stopped making movies in the '90s because audiences weren't into the kind of stuff he was making
I mean,
anymore.
yeah. Next is one of my favorite Robert Altman films, Secret Honor.
Secret Honor.
Yeah,
That was
Richard Nixon.
fucking yeah, that was mind blowing in terms of how dead on it is to what like to what's happening now, and it,
Yeah,
it was like a take on what if you could look at what Richard Nixon is doing right now or what he was doing at the moment of all that Watergate stuff happening. Uh, if he was dictating notes, which is what happens in the movie, is it's the whole movie is him like dictating notes basically,
he's
and
he's
he keeps
he's like,
saying,
he's reciting to his voice recorder in the most frantic, fucking
yeah,
unhinged way, and just
he keeps,
ranting, not
yes, he keeps
finishing
saying,
sentences. Just yeah,
forget that part, yeah.
just incredible.
But yeah, it is incredible. It's a tour de force kind of a thing because it's
100%.
literally just one actor playing Nixon and fucking doing the best Nixon you've ever fucking seen. And uh asking like what if he was so unhinged in that moment that he was just truly showing who he actually is behind it all, beneath it all, through what he was saying and through his actions and words and stuff like that.
I'd say the closest
And
thing to it would be Oliver Stone's W.
I still haven't seen that one yet.
It's not good. Oliver Stone, like miss, like in once you hit the '90s with Oliver Stone, it's hit and miss. You know,
Yeah,
some of those
I
movies are
like
incredible,
part
and
of the
some of those
Fourth of
movies are
July. Yeah,
forgettable. Yeah, that's a great movie, but like some of those other movies are kind of forgettable in the '90s. You know,
yep.
so yeah, and then of course he's dubious politics and some other issues,
But like,
but
if you've been paying
he's old,
attention,
so
if you've been paying attention to the major plot points of politics of the day in the United States today in the last few months, then
God.
I would recommend watching this just because it's like, imagine that's Trump instead of Nixon,
Like
you
I
know.
I would totally make a movie and call it disgrace, no honor or without honor, and have it just like this, but it's Trump reciting
Yeah,
into his fucking cell phone or
you could
something.
just drop him in there. Like
Yeah, like I would, write, like I just that's, yeah,
we
like
watched this like right after the whole FBI raid thing happened
yeah,
or
we
whatever.
really did
So like
actually, yeah.
it was perfect time.
Here we are.
Oh god.
Where am I at? Yeah. The Sacred Honor is a movie I have from Criterion, and I don't think it's a Blu-ray yet, but I have the DVD, and when the minute it gets a Blu-ray, you're fucking damn right I'm gonna get it. It's a 10 out of 10 movie for me. It's 2 thumbs up, two big fucking huge mega thumbs up. I highly recommend this movie. Philip Baker Hall is at his finest here, and he's an incredible actor who was stuck in mostly character actor roles for most of his life. So getting to see he gets big meaty roles from like Altman and a few other directors, but overall he was just like that boss that from that movie that you like. that very characterful character in the background in that movie that you liked. And it's like, goddamn.
Nobody else ever really gave him a chance, eh? Jesus. How could you not after seeing that? God, what the fuck?
Actor. It's just one of those things, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, he had a great fucking career. I don't think he would have ever complained about his career. You know, we've seen him in Truman Show and Zodiac and Magnolia and fucking Argo and like I can go on. There's more. There's a bunch more. But like, you know, he also got stuck in like lesser roles. I'm like, what the fuck is he doing in Shaggy Dog? You're like, you know, like playing some mediocre character that's way beneath him. He's just paying his bills at that point, you know, because the Shaggy Dog's
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
90s. Right, that's 96? 2006. I was off by 10 years. Shit. He's in Mr. Popper's Penguins. Like, come on. You watch Secret
Yep.
Honor and you're like, what are you doing in Popper's Penguins? Paying the bills. That's the
Yeah,
answer. He's paying the bills. The truth is
exactly.
Secret Honor didn't pay him any fucking money, basically. It was like a very small passion project that Robert Altman did
Well,
literally with the...
it was in
with
the 70s, right? Like, I mean,
It's 80s, I believe.
oh, 80, later in the 80s.
84.
Oh, okay.
And it was done when I don't remember what university, but Altman was teaching at the university, and he had the students, I guess, on the summer break or one of the breaks, they decided to do this as like a project just to do it. So that's so cool. Imagine like famous, incredible director Robert Altman's your teacher, and he's like, "Let's make a movie, kids." I go, "Okay, fuck."
Kind of like with Phil Tippett, right? I mean,
Yeah, like imagine you're just like, "Yeah, dude, I get the intern at Phil Tippett." It's like, we're gonna make a movie. What? We're gonna make a fucking movie, and then you work on one scene for 3 years. Imagine you work there for 3 years. And every day it's melt plastic guys. Golden pile. Do that for 8 hours straight. The next day you can start filming sub movements. Oh, we gotta make the next section of canyon made of melted plastic soldiers. My God, that's like, I can't even
and
imagine.
all you've got to keep you going is Phil Tippett saying, listen, in the future, kids are going to be fucking telling stories about the guy who sat there melting wax figures for 3 fucking years.
Right? 6 people, 3 years, I think it was. Or maybe it's 3 people, 6 years. I can't remember which.
I think it's 3. Yeah.
Numbers are hard for my brain to hold on to.
6 people, 3 years.
For really may not know, I have a traumatic brain injury, so like I can't hold numbers. Like you can give me a 6-digit code, I can remember it for maybe 15 seconds.
I'm pretty bad with numbers too.
I'm like astoundingly
There's
bad.
there's only a few that I like for whatever reason hold on to.
Yeah, I can't. I mean, like my social security number, I've remembered my PIN number. The reason I can do those is because it's just I wrote them down, and then it took months of looking at the piece of paper, and then finally I was able to do it without looking. Like,
I mean, sometimes there are times when I go to the
months.
fucking cash register and like, you have to put your phone number in to, get the
Yeah.
credit thing or
Oh, I can't do
whatever.
phone. I'm fucked. I don't.
And I'm just like, oh my God, I don't remember my phone number. Fuck.
Me either. No, me either. That's why in my phone I had put me. I put it as just me. And that way I can find me. 'Cause it's M-E. It's 2 letters. It's easy to find. Yeah, and then it's the very first option in M-E. Because it's M-E and that's it. So, it's really easy. And because I had the same problem. Oh, that's how I remember my phone number finally. Because I pull it up, I enter it, and because I'm not stressed about it, I'm like, I'm just very prepared by pulling it up. I'm in line, because I know it's coming. So now, the problem is it's hard to remember if you're stressed out because you're scrambling to remember it. But if you get prepared, the next time you go, you'll have less stress, and eventually, repeatedly doing that, you'll eventually remember your phone number. But the thing is I've had the same phone number for 20 years. 20 years.
Mhm.
No one else has had this cell phone number ever. You gotta get junk mail as if someone has owned the phone before me with the wrong fucking name, and I hate it. But yeah, the 20 years. So that's why I remember it, because it's been the same for 20 years since my 20 2 years. My senior year in high school, the year 2000.
Damn.
I just celebrated my 40th birthday with my wonderful and amazing girlfriend. Had a good day.
Hell yeah.
We watched Killer
Happy
Clowns and
birthday.
Transformers the movie, and yeah. And
That's awesome.
I spent all
And
day.
that's
I
right
spent
when
all
they're
days.
making a Killer Clowns game now. Did you know
That's
that?
yeah. Of course. I knew that. Oh, okay. A little humble
Here we
brag.
go.
I know the Kyoto brothers. We're all friends on Facebook. He posted that he's excited about something a little while ago.
Do you
Let's
still
talk
have
about
the
it.
gun right next to you, or is that?
I don't
Did you?
own the gun. That was actually the actual prop from the movie I was holding.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you actually had it though. I thought you
No,
owned
I
it.
wish. They have a replica I want really badly. But no, there's a photo of me pre-transition where I'm holding the killer clown's like gun to my head, like, and making a silly
Yeah.
face, right? And then another one where I'm doing like Charlie's Angels with my wife. And we're doing like silly things like that. We're having fun with it. But that was the actual prop used in the movie because that was at the Killer Brothers booth where I did that. Because what happened?
Oh,
I went and started talking with them, and then 15 conventions later, they know my name. 20 conventions later, after that, we're fucking exchanging Facebook. So it was like, it took I've talked to them for solid 2 or 3 years consistently because we both live in California. We all go to the same conventions. See him at Son of Monster Mania. At the other one, I can't remember the name of. And then I would see him all the time at like the various conventions at like Frankensons and various other conventions. We'd run into them. Run into them all the time. It's like John Fasano, a few years before he died, director of Rock and Roll Nightmare. I ran into him at a convention in Kamikaze 2012, right? I got to talk with them, had a great time talking with them, bought his movies. They were all signed by the cast and crew and him and all that stuff. Pretty cool shit. And then randomly, like 2 years later, I run into him walking out of the fucking post office. Like, hey, dude, long time no see. It was like so fucking weird. We weren't friends. It was just one of those like, hey, how's it going? Like, hope you're doing it right.
big
Dude.
gulps, huh?
No, I was just like,
Well, see you later.
like, hope you're having a good day. That was it. It was like just a nice exchange. Like, oh, I remember you. He said, oh, I remember you. So hey, I'll take that. He didn't have to remember my fucking name. Like, whatever. Anyway, sorry. My high ramblings aside, Jurassic Park 3? Eh? Oh, what'd you give Secret Honor? Thumbs up, thumbs down? Probably thumbs up, but 2 thumbs up.
Two thumbs.
Ooh.
Yes.
Good. All right, then. Jurassic Park 3. I don't think we need to really talk much about
Yeah.
this, right?
It is Jurassic Park 3. It is okay.
Yeah. So,
There
all right.
are elements of it that are important, I guess. But
Did you want to talk about Spiral? The Saw movie.
Just to say, I just want to say that, like, I remember everybody shitting on this when it came out. Not everybody, but a lot of people were shitting on it, right?
Mhm.
And I was like, I'll wait until I get the chance to see it myself. And I'm glad I did because it isn't that bad at all. It's actually quite good. I would say it's one of the better Saw movies of the past decade or two or so. Like,
Yeah.
of the latter Saw movies, this one is definitely one of the best of the latter Saw movies.
I agree.
So, yeah, I don't think there really was. I mean, what I love about it is that you get a chance to see some actors who, you don't always get to see in everything anymore. Like Samuel L. Jackson is in it,
Yeah.
Chris Rock was in it. So you get a chance to see a few actors that like aren't in movies all the time anymore, and they're in a Saw movie, and that's kind of cool. So
Okay. Someone earlier today on a Discord I'm on. I just need to. Okay. Where was it? It was up here, right? Yeah. So we're talking about like, the movies tonight were like Vicious Lips and Life Force, and the person's like, Life Force is the most nude / least sexy movie I can think of. I'm like, Life Force? Really? Matilda May isn't sexy? And they're like, it's like how when you repeat a word enough, it loses its meaning. Matilda May is nude for so long in it, you become desensitized to it. And my response to that is, I never get bored of looking at beautiful things. But I didn't reply. I just didn't want to argue with the guy. I'm not going to out his name or anything. It's not that important. It was just silly interaction. Oh, I can't mute a whole folder. All right. Mute server 1 hour. Mute server 1 hour. Oh, thank God. Sorry. Like blinging at me. Stop pinging at me. I'm not coming to your movie screening and doing a reporting. Anyway, yeah, Jurassic Park 3. Just saw Spiral. I don't. Yeah, whatever. It's okay. Nightwing, I'm gonna pass on. Orphan from 2009.
One of those horror movies that's more creepy, disturbing than it is scary. You know?
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. I saw this for the first time. I want to say, like, I could have swore I saw it in 2016. I could have swore you were the one who told me I needed to see Orphan. But now I think about it, right now, I think it's The Orphanage is the one you said I gotta see. And I did see that also.
I don't remember.
Because I'm
saying
okay.
anything about
So
any
back in
movies
the day when you had
regarding
your
Orphanage.
movie reviewing gig, right?
Yeah.
For moviepoopshoot.com, you reviewed The Orphanage by Wame. Was that Wame Balaguero? Fuck, that's not his name. That's a different director. Who did The Orphanage? The Orphanage. Is it A? Oh God, I can't spell orphanage because Orgfanagish. Jesus, shoot me.
Is that that
No.
movie that was playing off of The Devil's Backbone? Like it was
Oh, I don't know.
in
Was it?
response to The Devil's Well, because it's a very
J.A.
similar kind of
Bayona.
story,
J.A.
I think.
Bayona, who did the Jurassic
I think it's a
World.
very similar kind of story.
He ended up doing Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. But you
Oh
recommended
wow.
to me when you were working at that place, because you reviewed this movie, and a woman brings her
Working for
family.
free.
What's that?
Working for free. I wasn't
Oh,
even getting
yeah.
paid.
A woman brings her family back to her childhood home, which used to be an orphanage, intent on reopening it. Before long, her son starts to communicate with a new invisible friend. I remember being pretty good. 8 out of 10. Like, really enjoyed that fucking movie. And it was because you recommended it to me.
Yeah. I have almost no recollection of that movie, but I did remember some things. So yeah.
I ended up watching it with Jamie too, the shitty one, not the good one.
Okay.
I don't know. Dated a lot of Jamies, whatever.
An abundance of Jamies.
I've gotta type. Shut up. What was I saying? Oh yeah, Orphanage. I give a solid
You mean
thumbs
Orphan?
up. Orphan. Excuse me. Orphan. See, I did it again just now. I give a solid thumbs up, almost a 2 thumbs up, but it gets a little. It's a little creepy. It's a little creepy.
Yeah.
It's a little creepy.
I swear, like the whole thing with Victor Salva has just ruined any like a lot of movies for me. Not like ruined, but definitely you see certain elements in movies now after knowing what you know about what he did in his story,
Oof.
and you
Why do you
just
have to bring him
you
up?
get
Jesus.
well because I get really fucking uncomfortable thinking, oh God, is the filmmaker in this case just like that guy?
Oh
You
Jesus.
know? Because it's like
Okay.
there's a moment in
Damn.
Orphan where, well, because there's
Yeah.
a moment in Orphan where like there's a adult man who is being coerced, so to speak, coerced.
That is coerced. Not
It's
so to speak. That
it's
was just coerced. Yeah.
and you just think to yourself, oh my God, was somebody being taken advantage of here? Oh my God, I know how Hollywood is. Oh my God, oh my God.
I mean,
So it's so uncomfortable when
Ah,
I when that scene comes up, and that's why I was like,
interesting.
you know, everything else about this movie is okay. That part
I mean,
could have
that's the
done without
uncomfortable
that part.
scene. I mean, you know. I
Could have
mean,
done. Didn't need that.
it's a scene that is supposed to make you uncomfortable. It's supposed to be the one of the pinnacles of like suspense and creepiness in the movie. I still didn't like the kind of uncomfortable it made me.
Yes.
And that's not something that's going to be too much for you or a problem for anyone who might be watching this, but it has some uh things that might look, just look at the content list if you've been trauma if you've been through some trauma. That's all I'm saying.
Yes. And
Because there is some pretty hard to watch things in that movie. Not gonna lie.
yeah, there are. I mean, it's not the first time somebody's made a horror movie with the idea of like grossing you out,
Oh no,
really
of course not.
disturbing you.
I mean,
But
Serbian
at the
film.
same time, it's like that. Like at the same time, you're also, if you're the type who's going to be grossed out by this kind of thing, and even if you're not, you might find that this time you are, and it's
Right.
just like it's effective, but because it's effective, you don't necessarily like it as much, and it's
Yeah.
not the filmmaker's
Yeah. No.
fault
No. Exactly.
or your fault.
I didn't.
It was just effective.
Like I didn't mark the movie down a rating because it made me uncomfortable like that. It's still got 7 out of 10.
Yeah,
You
so
know.
something like that.
Yeah. Pretty solid
It's
movie.
good. It's this. It's thumbs up.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. 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 Exactly.
But buyer beware. Be prepared.
We're gonna jump ahead to Orphan First Kill just so they can be next to each other.
Yeah. Um, which is the whole reason I wanted to watch Orphan because
It's a
the
new
new
thing.
one was out,
Yeah. Exactly.
and I didn't even like it as much as the first
It
one.
wasn't as good. It wasn't like as offensive as say Don't Breathe Part 2. Like it didn't glorify a rapist at least, but
It
it
just took a completely
did
different approach.
kind of glorify this weird, I don't know. It didn't really glorify anything. I didn't really like it. I thought it was okay. That's
It takes a completely different approach of which is a more of a modern approach, I think. I guess maybe not really because this is also something that existed, but the whole concept of you don't like the people in the movie that you otherwise would have been supposed to like,
mhm.
the family that you're supposed to connect with. You definitely don't like any of these people. They're all terrible, miserable people, right?
Yes.
And so you're supposed to be feeling bad for them, but you don't. And that's something that you see in a lot of horror movies nowadays because uh, they want to play on the whole cheering on of people getting killed, right?
Yeah.
You feel good about these people not being in the movie anymore because they are so annoying, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know.
But that's the thing about it is like that's not what the original movie was about. I don't think it didn't take that approach, and it's not that taking that approach now is a bad thing. It's
Mhm.
just that I don't think it works as well as the original thing, which is saying something because what they were trying to do with the first movie, what as we just discussed, was very effective, but also extremely disturbing,
Yep. So I need you to
uncomfortable.
stall and talk about whatever cuz I have to use the restroom. I got to pee real quick.
Okay,
I'll be back in just like 2 minutes.
I don't know what to talk about. Um, I've been watching Bob's Burgers lately. Um, when I have free time. Uh, Anybody out there like Bob's Burgers? Um, yeah, what movie did I see recently? I don't think I've actually seen. See, this is. I usually bring up a movie that I've watched recently, but I can't think of even one that I've watched without Val. So, like, uh, I don't know. I got the Coneheads Blu-ray because I had gift card money on Amazon. Hmm. I wish I had more to say right now, but I do not. God, I can't even think of one fucking movie I've watched recently without her because I've been so busy working that I've only had time for Bob's Burgers. Oh, okay, I know what I can talk about. The new Ken Burns documentary. There's a new Ken Burns documentary that just dropped on PBS. It's all of it is on pbs.com. I think it's .com. Maybe it's .org. But yes, it's on the PBS website, and it's very good. It's about the U.S. Uh, I wouldn't say like not the it's not the involvement of the U.S. in the Holocaust, but more how things that were happening in the US inadvertently inspired what happened in the Holocaust, so to speak. So if you are into history and knowing the true facts of what happened, and you want to hear perhaps one of the best documentarians in all of history talk about it, then definitely watch The US and the Holocaust, Ken Burns.
Sorry. I couldn't hold it. I really had to pee.
There was
Whew.
only like, I would say, 30 seconds of awkward silence as I was trying to think of even one thing to talk about.
Okay, what did you have talking about?
The new Ken Burns documentary,
God damn it,
U.S. and
stop
the
watching those
Holocaust.
without me. I want to see those, you fuck.
That's the U.S. and the Holocaust.
No, okay, I don't want to see that one. You can watch that without me.
Yeah,
I've
that's
already seen.
all.
I've seen a lot of that stuff in the past. I'm good. I'm good. I know it
But
happened. We're gonna
in true Ken
not make it
Burns
happen again. Thanks.
fashion, every episode is 2 hours long,
Oh yeah.
and it's like a 10
Like
episode thing.
I really want to see the baseball one, and he did an old west one. I really want to do that one too. But yeah, I don't want
I've
to see
seen
all of
like
them.
the first two parts of the baseball one, but like,
It's
it's
long.
really good. It's good
It's
from what I've
long.
seen.
It's like there's 9 innings. Then there's 12. There's like 3 more at bonus episodes after that. I think he did, like extra innings or whatever. That's what he calls it.
I think my favorite factoid that I learned about that is that the about baseball watching that documentary was that the first ever game that the they played against the black league, because they
Yeah.
had the segregated leagues and everything.
Ah.
Um, the first ever game that they played against them, they got their asses completely handed to them. It was like 18-2 or something like that. It was fucking embarrassing.
Jesus.
The the uh greatest white players in American history all came together to get their asses kicked. It's beautiful.
That's cool. All right. All right. All right. Here we go. Where are we at? Where are we at? Where are we at? Where we at? Where we at? Did you watch Headshot with us?
I
That
don't
was
think
us,
so.
right? Yeah. Yeah, you watched Headshot. You remember Headshot?
I just said I don't think so.
Oh,
So
yeah, you did.
no.
Watch it with us. Yeah.
What I don't remember it. What is it?
It's the EQ Wise film where he the guy washes ashore, and his memory's gone, and he has to he gets health nursed back to health by that girl, and it's by the people who did The Night Comes for Us, and
I have no recollection of this
All
movie.
right, then we'll pass. It's great, by the way. If you haven't seen it, y'all, it's a big, huge thumbs up for me. Do you remember L.A. Street Fighters? This directed by the same guy who partially directed Miami Connection. The first director that didn't get hired back on since they ran out of money.
Not really.
Okay. Do you remember Ninja Terminator?
All these movies blend into each other. They're the same movie.
They're in fact very different movies, but okay. Do you remember the documentary Children of the Stars?
No.
About the people
Well,
who there's the people who bought land in the Bay Area so they can make films about their past lives. Do you remember that? There's the UFO cult. You watch that on Tubi.
Kinda.
God damn it. They're not talking about Pinocchio.
This is the problem with waiting a month because I just forget things.
And we're not talking about Pinocchio because I don't give a goddamn about Disney's Pinocchio 2022. That's
Well, there
fine.
were some
Nope,
funny
don't give a
ones.
fuck. You know what I'll talk about? Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio. That's the one I'm going to talk about.
Children of the Stars. Okay, yeah, I remember this now.
Ugh,
Yeah.
hi, kitty.
The Unitarians or whatever.
Yeah,
the
the Unitarians, exactly. Yeah, well, I'm totally 1,000% putting them on my D&D game.
All I remember thinking at the end of that was like, you know what? These people are all right. You know, let them believe in their weird whatever the fuck. They're not hurting anybody. There are some things about what they believe that seem a little close to leaning on the side of potentially going towards fascism, but it's just like it's so minimal of a thing, and nothing ever really comes of it. It's like, eh,
So,
let them be in their desertous place wherever the fuck they are.
they're north of San Diego, I think. They have a couple of acres of land.
Yeah.
Live in a commune, and they make sci-fi films. And I cannot. I read so much about these people. I cannot wait to find their movies. I know I can buy them from them. I can literally send the Unitarians money, and they will send me DVDRs and DVD cases with with
Official
printed covers and
Unitarian.
everything. You know, special features and everything. There's even behind the scenes special features and stuff about that stuff. And I'm like, okay, I'm fucking interested. I'm really interested in seeing the movies they've made up on that land. Like, as long as they're not harming people, like, I don't give a fuck what wacky thoughts. You know, like, Christians believe in their space buddy. Like, what? Like, okay.
Right.
It's like everyone's got their thing, and so like I don't give a fuck.
We believe in freedom of religion, just so long
Yeah.
as your religion doesn't impede on our rights.
It
you know?
doesn't abuse people either.
Have
Scientology.
fun. Believe what you want.
Steve, I didn't say anything when we were talking about.
Just don't force other people to believe what you believe. That's
Exactly.
all.
Anyway, I would say I am partial to this subject matter. I am obsessed with cults. I think they're fascinating. I think it's fascinating the ways people get like sucked into being into a cult. You know, because it doesn't just happen one way. It's different. It's like it's often some really strange ways it happens. And so
Yeah.
This cat went out. I'm sorry. Okay, sorry. I just wanted to make sure. No, what? Oh, hi. You came back. Okay.
What's that phrase?
So, but
Thinking
as
about
a documentary, Children of the Stars is a bit muddled and it drags a bit, and it's kind of unfocused. And there doesn't seem to be any kind of thesis, if you will. You know what I mean? Like, I give it a 7 out of 10. I'm going to give it a thumbs up, you know, because of the rating system. But with an asterisk. The asterisk is, if you don't really like cults, this is probably going to bore you to tears. Justin's just used to watching crap with me, so he'll sit through anything at this
Well,
point.
it's also interesting to me from the standpoint of like, I truly do believe that like the Trump people are cult. They're in a cult. It's a cult. It's a massive cult, perhaps the biggest cult
That's
in
neither here nor
history.
there, but yeah.
But yeah, it's just like in terms of understanding cults better. You know, it's a good movie to
They
watch
exhibit
to
features like that, yeah.
understand cults better. So
Hi, kitty. Hi. So yeah, I rather like Children of the Stars. I don't think it's quite successful as a documentary. So your mileage may vary. That's my asterisk to my thumbs up. Next up
yeah,
is
they don't really challenge them that much. There's not really any challenging of the subject material.
Thor: Love and Thunder, which I watched again today. In fact.
That is a fucking fantastic movie.
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe people didn't like it. I don't even know what they wouldn't have liked about it. I don't understand. What
Oh,
was the problem?
I don't know. Look,
Ah,
the
who cares?
last like 5 Marvel movies have all been great. Eternals was
Yes.
great. Shang-Chi, great. Like fucking all of them have been great. I don't get it.
And every single one of them, somebody's bitching and whining and moaning. And I think it's literally just
Fandom.
because they look forward to the next Marvel movie coming out. Because even if they sight unseen haven't seen it, they don't care whether they've seen it or not. They are prepared and ready to hate it, even if they don't know anything about it. You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
they aren't actually interested in the movie because of what the movie represents or the characters in it or anything like that.
Or the fun
They're
inherent in
in,
whatever his movie is, right? Yeah.
they're interested in it so that they can go on YouTube and make a video about how much they hate it, even though they don't know if they actually would hate it or not.
They want to be able to go on the
Like,
internet and like join the hate
yeah,
mob, basically.
exactly. They're hate
I don't know if
watchers.
that.
That's what
Yeah, they're
they're called,
hate
hate
watching for sure.
watchers.
And it's like if you
Yeah,
don't like Marvel movies, just stop watching Marvel movies, man. There are
yeah.
so many movies released every
And
year,
I can
and while
understand that too.
and
Yeah,
while that abundance of movies has shrank year to year because the big studios are just slowly sucking each other into larger and larger conglomerates,
black
there's
hole.
still
Yeah.
so many movies released every year. And with avenues like Tubi, YouTube, fucking any other way they can get it out there, you can get your movie fucking seen by a bunch of fucking people. I mean, like, and it's pretty fucking cool in this day and age. You can literally just put your movie up on YouTube, post a bunch of links to places, promote it, and if it's worth talking about, people will talk about it. That's it. Like
Yeah.
it's like that's incredible. It's just incredible. But like, so you can just watch anything. Stop watching a Marvel movie, you hate it. Like shit.
But Thor: Love and Thunder, um, I think I might even like it a little bit better than the last Taika Waititi movie, the Taika Waititi movie.
Thor, Ragnarok.
Ragnarok, yeah, which I really like that Ragnarok. I think it was probably
I
one of my
I
favorites.
thought it was interesting they let
Um,
Taika Waititi destroy everything that existed before Thor, cinematically speaking, as like and basically presented it as this like staid, bland, featureless thing that needed to be destroyed and replace it with this vibrant, colorful, queer-filled fucking movie. I mean, like Korg is legitimately, explicitly a gay person because there's only men in his society. They literally meditate over a lava pool and birth a fucking Korgling or whatever they're called. And so it's
awesome.
like that's it. They technically reproduce asexually because they don't. There's
Yeah,
no
they're
sex involved.
asexual.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So that's fucking great, and that's one of Thor's best friends, and he's along for the whole ride. And then
but I
like
guess that's just too weird for some
Valkyrie's
people,
very gay. She's
which is funny because it's a
very
fucking
gay.
story about like space creatures. I don't know. That's a little too weird for me. I want my aliens to be only heterosexual.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Is like I got news for you. If there are actually species out there in space
Like
somewhere,
you know,
there's a very good chance that they may not, in fact, be heterosexual.
there are
I'm,
some. There are
what's
some.
normal here is not normal
There are
everywhere else.
some animals in our own ecosystem that have more than 10 sexes or genders. Excuse me. You know what I mean? Like it's a lot more than you think, kids. All right. Anyway,
Yeah,
Thor: Love and Thunder. I really like New Asgard. I kind of wish there was a new Asgard TV series.
I want to go to New Asgard.
There is a place. It is an actual village you can
I
visit.
want to go on a tour to New
But
Asgard.
I believe the town is very much upset with the increase in tourism to the very small hamlet. I was just reading an article about it. But I would love to go see that place too. I think it's in Iceland, something like that. Um, but no, I love the setting. I think Kristen Bale did a pretty good job here. Um, here's okay. I'm gonna put a spoiler alert right now. I will go like this when we're done talking about the very quick spoiler, real quick. Okay, 3, 2, 1. I love that at the end, he doesn't win by beating the villain to a pulp. The villain just has a change of heart. That's it. Just has a change of heart. That's it. I just want to.
I
That's
agree.
that's a huge, great, and lovely change of pace, and it was incredible writing, and it gave his character so much more depth by the end of it. Watching it the second time, I appreciated Christian Bale even more. He might be the best villain
He
Thor has
did
faced off
really,
against next
he
to
did
Loki.
really good in this
Yeah,
fucking movie.
and he said he was done with comic book movies, but came back because his kids said that when he got offered that he needs to do it. He needs to do it. And he listened to his kids, and he fucking killed that shit.
I also loved Russell Crowe as
uh,
Zeus.
Zeus.
Such a delightful douchebag.
Uh, they filmed Russell Crowe with two times, once with a British accent and once with a Greek accent, because Taika Waititi wanted to do a British accent, and Russell Crowe insisted on doing a Greek accent, and they agreed he'd do both, and Taika Waititi would choose which one was best in the editing room. And look, he did it. I mean, that's called collaboration right there. I'm like, okay, I want it done my way, but we can do your way. It's a smaller budget film, you may not have that option, but like,
Yeah.
fucking Marvel's paying for your shit, dude. Just sort it out, have some fun. Yeah, I mean, I keep saying this, but I think this might be my favorite Marvel movie.
It was really good. It was very, very good.
Yeah.
And it makes me feel good about the direction that these movies are headed because, after Endgame, you don't really know exactly where it's going to go. Almost feels a little bit like a rudderless ship. Um, but they made all the right, I think they made all the right choices so far. There hasn't been one that's been truly terrible other than Morbius, I guess, but I still haven't seen that, so I don't
It's
know.
not a Marvel Studios film. Morbius is
Yeah.
a Sony film. They're
Figures,
insisting on
figures.
doing this whole universe with villains.
But
Sony doesn't know what the fuck they're doing. They're doing it
yeah,
worse than
when it
doing
comes to
it worse than
Marvel,
fucking than Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers has been dropping the ball for like 5 years. Fucking Marvel just running. Marvel's been doing things for 10 years, and DC still hasn't gotten their shit together.
yep, more like 15 years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's just like DC, come on, get it together, come on.
Like your heroes too, you could do good movies maybe. But yeah, I gave this 2 thumbs up. It's good shit.
We will only give you one mediocre Batman movie every 10
Oh, I
years.
thought the Batman movie was good. The villains in it were just mediocre. Like the movie overall was pretty good.
Oh, I like it too. I'm just saying, it seems like for the most part, those are the only ones they manage to get right, and then only sometimes.
That's true. The animated series is still the best thing they ever did, Batman wise. It will probably never be topped. I just can't see it at this point. They keep hurting. They keep shooting themselves in the foot too much.
I know what you're thinking, but you guys skipped over Nightwing. Well, that's not a DC movie.
Yeah, it is. Nightwing is a DC
The
character.
character, yes, but the movie we watched
Oh,
called Nightwing
yeah,
is
it
not a
is.
DC movie.
That's true.
But it was an okay movie.
Yeah, I say like at Nightwing is it feels like a TV movie version of Animal Attack film, but it was
Yeah.
released theatrically, so go figure that out. Come on, get off my shirt.
Never. It will stay on your shirt forever. No.
Oh, you can see where. Do you see the gray stain here?
Yeah.
That's where Sherlock put her fucking poo paws to get my attention.
Oh, lame.
Jerk. Next up is the much reviled Pluto Nash. The Adventures of Pluto Nash.
Ah, yes, that absolutely god awful, terrible movie, the worst movie ever made. That actually was kind of good. I liked it.
I like the world that it was set in. I really like the set decoration, the costumes, all that. You know, like it looked like it was some fun to make, but it also does look like, and I can confirm via the trivia that they went back and did a lot of reshoots, and it looks like they did a lot. I felt like a lot of reshoots happened, and
I know, like it reminded me of movies like Space Truckers,
yeah,
and
very much.
the kind of the mid to late '90s movies that are set in space but don't have a really high budget. This one did have a higher budget, I
Very high
think,
budget, and that's
but
why it bombed so bad.
like it had the appeal of and like the design of a movie that was low budget, and that's what I liked about it.
And
It
what
felt so like cheesy and low budget and fun, and I liked that. I don't know.
we watched this with my polycule and a bunch of other people and a bunch of friends and stuff, and like we literally came to the conclusion the reason why it failed was because it feels like a really 90s film, but it came out in 2002.
Yes,
And it
absolutely,
feels disjointed because of two different
absolutely.
edits. But I would love to see the 3 hour original cut before they did
But I
reshoots.
mean, yeah, we watched it with a group, and I remember like there were at least a couple moments when people were like audibly like shocked or surprised
Yeah.
by something in the movie, like the when we all saw that Hillary Clinton's
Ah, and the
face was on
dollar
the
bill.
dollar.
And Trump owns
There
some
was
fucking
we
land on the
howled.
moon.
Everyone fucking howled at that. That was fucking.
And
It's a joke that at the time would have fallen flat for good reason, but like today, with all the
it went.
shit that's
It
happened,
happened.
it's
Yeah.
just like
I would say.
it's
So here's the thing.
hilarious now.
It was a 10-year-old joke by the time that happened, right?
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
then 10 years later, it became funny again. It was
Yeah.
like it went from funny in '92 it would have been funny, in 2002 it wasn't funny, but they kept going, and in 2022 it was funny again. It's like a
Yeah.
boomerang. It took a time, but it came back around. And there's also like there's a whole thing about like Trump owns like like apartments on the moon or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like Jesus Christ.
It's like also Trump is involved in this. Yes.
Yeah,
God, of course
he's
he
not
is.
in it, but his name's on the moon. Yeah,
Oh my goodness.
all said and done, I give Adventures of Pluto Nash a solid thumbs up. I mean, the set
One thumb
design,
up.
the set design alone is worth watching this movie for. Like they did a really good job with the world building and
I
the
mean,
casting and the background acting. And it does look like it's the
it's
same
not the
set.
worst movie I've ever seen. It's
No,
just not.
I know.
And people are saying this is the worst movie. No, it
The
isn't.
the space station set very much the layout of it reminds me very much of Super Mario Brothers the movie. Another movie that isn't as bad as everyone said.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I watched that, and I kind of wanted to watch Futurama after the fact.
nice. Yeah.
It has that kind of a feel to it, a Futurama kind.
Next up, Frightmare.
Right.
Do you remember Frightmare?
Vaguely, very vaguely.
So, these party kids with which includes our show friend of the show Jeffrey Combs.
Oh yeah,
We don't know
yeah,
any of
yeah.
these people. I'm just saying that because it's stupid.
Yeah.
Frightmare from 1981, also known as the Horror Star. Ferdy Main plays what is essentially a Christopher Lee / Vincent Price character who dies, and Jeffrey Combs and his fraternity friends go and kidnap his corpse and bring it to their party, and then mysteriously they're all dying one by one. It's a slasher film. It's from 1982, 1981, by Norman Thaddeus Vane, who you'll remember from doing literally nothing else of note. He did a bunch
But I
of other
mean,
movies, but there's nothing to like.
it's an opportunity to see Jeffrey Combs, and you should take every opportunity to see Jeffrey Combs that you can.
Jeffrey
It's
Combs is great. He's chewing the scenery up in this movie.
oh
Like,
yeah,
hardcore, and he's very good at it because he's Jeffrey Combs.
and of
He's
course
Jeffrey
Vincent
fucking
Price.
Combs.
Well, no, it wasn't Vincent Price. It was
Ferdinand playing a very Vincent Price-esque character.
yes.
Yeah. That was I thought, okay, Frightmare is a movie that I blind bought on Blu-ray. I just that one year I was like, I remember it was
Like, I'm probably gonna like this.
it was a couple years ago. I was like, I'm like, I have $100 to spend. So, I get all the things I definitely need to get. And I have room for one more movie. Looking around. And I kept seeing Frightmare. Every time I do a search, Frightmare would come up for a bunch of things. I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I think the universe trying to tell me to fucking buy Frightmare. So I bought Frightmare. And then I watched it one night. Well, stoned out of my mind. And I enjoyed it. And then we watched it while I was stoned out of my mind. And I'm about to be stoned out of my mind.
Yeah, I liked Frightmare. I would probably own it. It's a good fun one to watch.
Sale
I
at the
can
end
see
of the month.
myself watching it again, but yeah, thumbs up, thumbs up. It's a solid little '80s horror movie starring Jeffrey Combs, and really, you don't need to know more.
This is one of my more favorite slasher films. I give this 2 thumbs up. I think it's a
Oh, wow.
7-star movie, but it's 2 thumbs up because it's just so much fun. There's a lot of times you're just going, what? Why? But that's part of the joy, I think, watching these characters do stupid things and pay the price for their hubris or stupidity.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Next, Rain Without Thunder, a powerful mockumentary, a fake documentary. For those who don't know what a mockumentary is,
Speaking of timely things,
it was filmed in 1993, and it's a documentary. This evocative, quote unquote, faux documentary imagines a dystopian near future in which the government monitors every woman's sexual activity. At its center is Allison Golding, serving a life sentence for having an abortion. As politicians, journalists, and other key figures discuss Allison's case, they reveal how American society reached this totalitarian state.
now.
I'm less speechless when I found this movie, and that was on Tubi, and that was a mockumentary, which means one of my favorite genres, the found footage.
The version on
genre.
Tubi, by the way, which is I think the only version that's available to watch online right now for free at least, is like a squished down anamorphic widescreen version of the film.
Yes,
it's like the wrong aspect ratio.
Yeah,
It's the wrong aspect ratio, but it's like even then I still recommend watching it because holy fucking shit, how much they got right is fucking scary.
It's scarily accurate. Like
so much that is actually happening. I mean, when you heard her just then saying describing the movie, the synopsis of the movie, right? Like, and they're talking about how they're like tracking everybody, everybody's sexual activity. It's like, guys, I got news for you. They actually are in the process of developing an app for your phone right now that tracks your period.
They already do that.
They're
I have a period
doing
tracker.
This shit is okay. So it's already exists.
Yeah, period trackers already exist. Yeah.
How far do you think it is from that to just literally tracking?
Well, that's the problem. Is I stopped using it because the problem with all these companies that own the period trackers is that they are in cahoots with various governments, and not just my government, which is the problem.
Yep.
You know, if you get to know who the fuck makes your period tracker, because if it's a Russian or Chinese company, they could be using that in perhaps negative ways against us. You know, a
Yeah.
thing to
They
consider.
are. They, that to me is just like that's pretty much exactly what they're talking about in this documentary, existing in this world of the documentary, and it exists now in reality in
It
our
literally
time.
foretold what was happening
Yeah.
because, like, literally, we are putting people in jail for fucking having miscarriages,
Now,
having abortions.
thankfully, I don't think anybody has like stayed in jail, but they have
No,
been.
but the point is, we're on that precipice. We're on
Yes.
that
Yes.
precipice.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
I mean, I don't need to get political, but guess what? All art's political.
Yes.
Even the idea of saying no, I don't have the political statement is in fact a political statement. You're welcome. Congratulations, all art's political. Moving on. We don't even have to, like, we're gonna steamroll through this conversation real quick. There's no nuance to be had out that state. That's like a very
Yeah.
cut and dry, you know. Rain like thunder without thunder is wow. It's fucking powerful. And
I
yes,
think it's a
if
movie everyone needs to see.
if
I kept going back to it after the fact, like a couple days after the fact. I kept going back to watch certain scenes here and there because it just was like that fucking scene stuck with me because
yeah,
what she's talking about is happening right now. So like I kept thinking to myself, I feel like everybody needs to fucking see this movie right fucking
and this is a
now.
movie that's trapped on VHS, by the way,
Yeah.
as an
Goddamn.
example. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Criterion, please. This is we need this. We need this Criterion. Please. The world, well, the United States in particular, but we need this.
This documentary needs to make a Blu-ray premiere, please.
Yes. 2 thumbs up and must watch.
Two mega thumbs
Must
up.
watch.
Probably one of the most important mockumentaries you could find.
Mhm. And it stars a lot of notable actors. Like you'll see people that you've seen in a million other movies. Jeff Bridges is in this.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, just a lot of
How much does
notable
VHS
actors.
cost? Oh, I can get VHS for $10, dude. It was an Orion Pictures film. It's locked away in Wright's hell, probably. But God, Rain Without Thunder is so good and so important. Like, I am not kidding. I'm not using hyperbole when I say it belongs in the Criterion Collection. It belongs in the Masters of Cinema Collection. It belongs in a home video format that can be watched by all, and it deserves a lavish edition. So the collectors will want it.
Yeah, agreed.
Like, let me see here. There's another documentary I'm thinking of, and I need to pull it up real quick. It's on my favorite found footage documentaries list. Well, Punishment Park. I feel like you could take Punishment Park and Rain Like Thunder and shove them together in a box set, and like a
Oh
box
yeah.
like that with maybe one other early found footage film, or another important one like Dave Holtzman Diary got a Blu-ray, and The Connection got a Blu-ray, and technically Punishment Park got a UK Blu-ray, but not a US Blu-ray. Might be in right cell here. But like, just pair it with those kind of mockumentaries. Savage Land would be great. Not the best mockumentary, but it's about immigration in the U.S. Confederate States of America is another great mockumentary it could be paired with, which is a documentary about what if set in the world in which the Confederacy won. It's like a history of America, but like it's kind of weird. It's like an anti-racism documentary made in the universe in which the Confederacy won. Something like that. It's been a long time since I've seen it. Anyway, I know I keep going on rants. Whatever. High. Very high. Um. Next up is Jasper Mall. You remember that one? You have anything to say
Yeah, of
about that?
course I do. Just that it's a really interesting documentary about dying malls in America, or
Yeah.
specifically one dying mall, which is apparently still open, but like,
Still barely
you
open.
know,
Yeah.
just these like some malls like these malls are just slowly dying a really slow, drawn out death. And it's just interesting seeing what like the whole process behind it and what happens and how they start turning into something else entirely, like a place where people come to get their walking in or whatever, like
Like I've always wanted to like take a dead mall and like buy
or
it
to play
and
dominoes with their friends
refurbish it,
there.
the whole thing, and make it into a home, and like have a commune there instead, and turn the parking lot into like the farmland, and like put a fence around it to protect it from wildlife eating all the fucking food.
There
You
was
know,
a story of
that'd be really cool.
a
That's always
mall.
another thing I wanted to do.
There's a story of a mall that like went under, right? Like they uh couldn't sustain themselves anymore, so they ended up getting foreclosed on, right? And then the bank came in after it was foreclosed upon, and like nobody else knew that there was a sale of the mall going on that day. Like the mall was on sale and being auctioned off. Nobody really knew except for the fucking bank. So the bank swooped in and paid like $100 for the fucking mall that they had just foreclosed upon.
Whoa, I want that.
Oh yeah, I'm just thinking, imagine if you just came in and like they were as they're walking away, assuming that they had the only bid that you're just like $101. But then of course, like you also have to pay for the fucking taxes on the property, and the taxes on a fucking mall are gonna be fucking astronomical.
Oh yeah,
So
I want to find these documentaries. In the chat, someone recommended "Death of a President," which is a documentary about the aftermath of the assassination of George W. Bush. It's on Tubi, so and that's getting added to the pile of things you need to watch.
the thing I like about Jasper Mall is that it takes place in a southern location. I think it's Arkansas. I
Something like
think it's
that, yeah. Jasper, Arkansas,
uh,
something like that.
yes. And so you see a lot of people who are, southern people, right? They have the southern drawl, they have the beliefs and attitudes of the Bible Belt, so to speak.
Hmm.
Um, and it's just an interesting slice of life in terms of that kind of seeing that kind of American culture that doesn't always get accurately depicted on film. And here it is, pretty accurately depicted.
Oh yeah, yeah. I thought it was
So,
really great.
yeah.
Um, shit, I lost my spot. Where am I? We
But my
just
favorite thing about it
there
is
it
that
is.
the guy who is like in control of the mall, the guy who runs the mall, is this guy who was like a Joe Exotic type of person who
Oh
had
my
his own
god.
fucking zoo, and also he came from fucking Australia. So he
Yeah,
has this weird hybrid Australian Southern American accent. It's so wild. It's the wildest character. It's
and
so
so so I feel like American movie, and a few of these other documentaries. There's kind of like a sad undertone to this, like because like it's the same feel. Like it's like there's one last desperate attempt to save them all, one last
yeah.
desperate attempt to finish the movie, and they're both set in these very rural areas with people who are so poor, and like you can see it's like the time capsules. Like yeah, Mall is really good. I really, I want these folks to get a like a box set because they have a bunch of movies. Brett Whitcomb and Bradford Thomas. They have Jasper Mall, the Rocket Fire Explosion, which I still have to see. They had Butterfly in the Sky, and then they did Glow, the story of Glorious Ladies of Wrestling. That was a great documentary.
Yeah, we watched that. Yeah.
Um, you can do those, and then you can like do like the Lost Weekend mini doc as a bonus feature. Like you can like that could be a cool box set of like movies by them because the documentaries are fascinating. Are like I feel like with Jasper Mall, it's just like American Movie in that the right place, right time for the director to capture this extremely authentic and unique and a person that will never exist again and that would never have been found any other way other than just running into this motherfucker, you know? Just, yeah. And I love that.
Yep. It's very interesting. And the Blu-ray's pretty cheap, isn't it? For the Jasper Mall, at least. I thought you said it was like $10 or $12 or something like that.
I don't know. I don't remember. I don't remember numbers. We just discussed this earlier.
Oh, that's right.
So I don't fucking know. But yeah, I give it a solid thumbs up. It's pretty, pretty good. I definitely will be adding it to my collection. And then if it comes out in deluxe edition, I will be adding it to my collection again. Um, Next up is a classic, a film in the Criterion Collection, Repo Man from 1984, starring Emilio Estevez, and like 5 million like character actors, populating a strange world.
Hmm. I mean, at first, it really felt like it was just the United States at that time period in like the 80s.
Right.
But as it goes on, you start to notice things here and there, and it's like, wait a minute, this is a different time in a different
And there's
place.
a lady with a robot hand, and
Yeah.
like you start figuring it out. Like it's like it's set in a cyberpunk universe, but it's very subtle because our characters at the very lowest dregs of life. Though that like if this is like the early cyberpunk movie, like an early in a cyberpunk and like future, like where technology is only at the upper echelon right now and hasn't filtered down through society slowly as new tech comes out, right? Maybe it's like the very beginning of that where all that stuff exists, but they only have a little bit of a few things here. And that lady with the robot hand, they were looking at the robot hand like it was a very expensive novelty or like a thing that like only a rich person can afford. You know what I mean? Like when
Which is
someone,
funny because
it's
it's
like when
just
someone who's poor owns a fancy car suddenly,
yeah,
because they saved up for it or whatever. It's like it was kind of interesting.
yeah.
Um, yeah. This is a favorite of mine. So, this is a 2 thumbs up for me. Do you have any thoughts? Any actual thoughts? Any actual thoughts? That's very invalidating to your
Do
previous
you have
thoughts.
any actual
Do you
thoughts?
have any like
Additional
yeah
thoughts?
anything?
Not really,
Oh, okay. The
because I'm getting kind of tired, honestly.
the trunk. Oh, we're almost done. The trunk
Yeah.
glowing is referenced in the
Oh
glowing
yeah.
briefcase in Pulp Fiction. A fun fact about making the movie: at the end of the movie, there's a moment where the car is glowing, and it's literally like this 3M reflective paint. It's not an effect, and it's not a special effect. It's literally just paint, and that's pretty fucking cool. I love when they use
It's a very
technology like that.
bizarre film, and I loved that it was bizarre, and I give it one thumb up. Maybe two in the future upon further views, but viewings. But for now,
2
one
for
thumb.
me. Valley Girl.
Um, about Valley Girl, I will say a couple of things. One, Nicolas Cage looks kind of weird because he hasn't had like the
He
surgery
hasn't
thing.
fixed. He hasn't had his teeth
Uh,
fixed.
yeah. Two, though, uh, while they did get they did get the Valley Girl
Val
speak,
speak.
the Val speak, yeah, they got that right in terms of the way that it was written. But the cadence felt a little off to me. But maybe that's just it was probably just because um, I remember what came of it, like the how it
15 years later.
how it developed across the Western United States. You know what I mean? Because like
Yeah.
Val speak really did get like accepted as a across the entire Western part of the country. And so like everybody started talking like that and saying like a lot, which is
I
something you
mean, I
hear
do
a lot
too. Like I
in
do
this.
that. Like whatever.
But like
Of course,
the
I am a Valley
cadence,
girl, to be fair.
what I'm saying though is like the cadence by the time that it came around to where I was living when I was growing up
Nope.
was far different from the cadence in this movie. So it could just be that the cadence in the movie is correct, but it's a Val speak at a time that I was not familiar with it,
Yeah, I think that it was pretty
So it's a little
early, and
off-putting, but it's whatever.
I feel
Because
like
ultimately they definitely got it right in terms of the way that it was written on the script. So
like
I can't complain too much about that. It's whatever.
some of them like some of the line some of the like the line lines of dialogue are perfect. You're like, oh yeah, okay. And some of them, like you said, there's a little bit of a cadence, like where the like is placed is wrong. And yeah, it was really weird seeing Nick Cage. Like he looks so young, and
Mhm.
like there's something weird about him. Like I don't mean any disrespect because I love him to fucking death, but he looked kind of like a Muppet in this fucking movie. Like,
I kind of want to see. I kind of wish he had done like a Frankenstein type character, Frankenstein's monster type
oh
character,
god.
because that would have been very interesting. I think, you know,
Okay.
with the way that his face looked at that time, the way it would have worked differently than it would work today, I think. But yeah. What's the other thing I was going to say about this movie? Oh yeah. Okay, so I feel like this movie could fit in pretty well. It's a little bit different from the other notable John Hughes 80s movies, right?
Mhm.
But it would fit in perfectly well with like if you were going to do a viewing of 80s teen movies from the 80s, right? This would fit in perfectly well with those movies. You know what I mean? Like you could watch this right after The Breakfast Club and be, you know, perfectly fine. Or 16 Candles, for example. You know, fits in perfectly well with those types of movies. It's a little bit darker, I would say, but in like the way that American Graffiti is maybe a little bit darker. You know, like
Hmm.
it's a slightly different kind of teen movie for the 80s, but it still fits in with those types of teen
I
movies.
mean, it doesn't
So
like it's one of the,
I
it's
like
like a lot of those teen movies treat like teens like children, you know, and they're and these movies definitely treat them more like adults
yes.
who are just
Yeah.
full of hormones. And like, yeah, I like here's the thing. I make fun of Nick Cage calling him a Muppet, but like Muppet Cage can get it. Like he's got so much charm, it don't matter. Like he could
He
just be
was
a fucking
getting it,
rock with two eyes, and I'd be like, yeah, all right. I'm like, fuck it. Um, but yeah, no, it's definitely early Cage. He's not. He's still. I feel like he's still like unsure as an actor here. But I don't know. Maybe that's just maybe it's just the movie. Uh, I really liked it though. I'm giving it a solid thumbs up. I think it's certainly worth pursuing, especially if you're a Cageophile.
It's also another little time capsule of a time and a place.
Very much is.
So yeah.
Next up, Blue Collar. We're skipping the McFoley comedy special because comedy special. McFoley was funny. Thank you. All right, you're welcome.
Blue
Anyway,
Collar was quite good. Paul Schrader directed and
it's
wrote
first
it.
film directing.
It also starred fuck. What
Harvey
are
Keitel,
names failing me? It's Harvey
Richard
Keitel,
Pryor,
Richard
and Yaphet
Pryor,
Kotto.
yes, and Yaphet Kotto.
And
Um,
let me tell you, I read some of the behind the scenes on this. Those three people fucking hated each other. Like they were bickering like children, throwing fists and objects at each other.
Till
There
the
were
end of the
Mexican
movie, it's just them being
standoffs,
upset at each other.
Mexican standoffs, all that stuff. Like, oh, god damn
Um,
it!
there are look. This movie came out in the 70s, right? And there are elements of this, like there are elements of racism in this that,
Oh god, the end especially devolves
yes,
into.
are pretty yikesy.
Oh,
Uh,
I mean, it's no, it's not yikesy. It's about a time and a place. I don't think it's
yeah,
yikesy in the sense of like none of these characters are good characters. They're all really
right.
terrible people. So yeah, at the end, their real fucking faces are shown. They start going at each other in a personal way to hurt each other. It's not that they're
Yeah,
it's like they're saying racist things, but they're not. But it's not. You know what I mean? Like the intent matters
and it is
in this
true
in the
to.
context of the movie.
I think it is
You know,
true to if you like, because it's an anti. It has like an anti-union message, although I don't know that that's
it's
necessarily the intent. But it
it's just talking
reminds.
about how the unions can become corrupt. You know.
Yes, and that reminds me of Harlan County, USA.
Oh
And
yeah.
there was some racism in that documentary as well, which
Mm-hmm.
was showing literal people talking about literal other
Just
people.
using the N
So
word
like,
casually, like it was totally
yes,
cool. Like what the fuck?
so like that shit was real. That shit actually happened.
Yeah.
So it is absolutely believable that you would see it in another union situation uh, in the case of the
Oh
story in
yeah,
this
yeah.
movie.
And we
So
were
like,
making bets like, oh,
yeah,
is Rick Keitel's dick gonna make an appearance in this movie?
okay,
Because we know of at least 3 movies in which his giant hog shows up. Okay, it's not that giant, but he's just he's got nothing to be ashamed of. But no, we just get Harvey Keitel butt. I'm cool with that. He's got a nice ass. He's always had a nice ass. I think that man does squats. He looks like he does squats. All right.
must.
Next was a movie that was all sorts of unexpected. The Man Who Killed Hitler and Then the Bigfoot, 2018.
How did I describe it?
Uh,
A exploitation film that the whole family can get behind.
well, it's interesting because like it is an exploitation film. Like
Yes.
it like it's exploiting the title's so exploitative. It's you're thinking you're gonna go in. We're gonna see Hitler get murdered. We're gonna see it's not what it's like all that happens.
Yes.
But in between all that is really powerful emotional stuff
Yeah.
about getting old, about all just everything like duty and honor and like what service is and what it feels like to like and like I don't know. It was nothing what I expected.
An old man looking back on his life and summing up the
There's
parts of it into a
an
whole.
incredible moment where he talks about the moment he killed Hitler and how fucking it didn't mean nothing. Like in the world, it's not that much fun, but it's through dialogue. It's revealed this is a very small thing in the movies that when Hitler was killed, it didn't stop the war. Shocker, I know, right? Because if he killed Hitler, it wouldn't stop the war. If you
Yeah.
killed Hitler as a baby, it wouldn't stop the war. There would just be a different Hitler. Maybe a different group of people get eliminated. Doesn't make it better, you know. That's the problem. Is like
It's got this very pessimistic view of
yeah,
humanity.
man.
And yet it's also like told from the movie itself is very, it feels almost wholesome to me. It's shot and told from the perspective of like, this is a good person, normal person who is just trying to do the right thing. And he has done some incredible things
He's a
that
badass.
he didn't necessarily think of as incredible.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I mean, he killed a
it's,
Hitler.
yes.
Yeah.
But I mean, the movie it's paced as if it were, I don't want to say like a Lifetime movie, but you know what I mean?
It's
It's
contemplative. The
when I
trailer,
say it's family friendly, I'm not joking. I mean, it's like
it's
a movie
PG-13,
that
I would think.
is, it does have uh exploitative elements to it, obviously, but it's something that you could sit down and watch with your whole family, and I think everyone would enjoy it. Like, I'm
Like
not even lying. It's
the trailer makes it look like it's gonna be this action horror film, right? This horror film about a man versus Bigfoot in the wild, and it's just not. It's not. It's totally misleading trailer. The poster is misleading. The title is misleading, and I fucking love this movie. Two thumbs up. That's
yes,
it's so good. It's
it was
so
very good. I
damn
give it
good.
one thumb up, but it's very good, and I think I might even end up buying that because it
I'm
was
gonna end
really
up buying it for sure.
good.
Next up, Lamb from 2021.
Fucking
2022, I
what?
mean.
What?
2021.
Lamb? I
Numi
need
Rapace
to
is incredible. I love her. I love her to death. She's
I need to
incredible in
watch
this.
that again. It's not, you know how you watch a David Lynch movie and you just like, I don't know what the fuck just happened, but um it's not David. I wouldn't call this quote unquote
It's not Lynchian.
Lynchian.
No, no, no.
Yes, but it does have that same effect of you
There's definitely
watch it
some
and then
what the
you're like,
fuck.
what the fuck happened here?
Yeah, there's a lot of what the fucking happening. Uh, it's it's interesting, and there's definitely a yin and yang thing to the layout of the movie, especially like the placements of where specific deaths happen, or I think in the are mirrored from at the end and the beginning to each other. Like, there's a
Yes.
lot to look into this movie, and I need to read like an essay or 15, so and then watch it again and go, oh,
I
because
will say,
I think I'm very good at picking subtext out and all that stuff. I don't know what the fuck this movie's about. It's great. It's great. It was great. I have no fucking idea what it's actually about.
the CGI was actually very good.
Very good.
It wasn't amazing, but it was very good. It was believable
Hmm.
for the most part. There were a few moments when uh, you could tell, but otherwise,
Yeah,
you
I
know,
mean,
if you're not looking for it, then you won't fucking see the seams, so to speak.
exactly. I gave it a thumbs up. I think if I understand it more, I'll give it more thumbs up.
Yes,
I mean,
it's
if you don't like these kind of contemplative
fucking
horror films,
weird.
you're not gonna like this movie. It's really what it is.
It's very fucking weird.
If you're anti A24,
But I
stay
think
away.
I think my favorite part about it was that the main the movie's called Lamb, right?
Yeah,
And the main character played by Numi Rapace is her name is Maria. So
yeah,
Maria had a little lamb.
yep,
Like,
yep, yep.
okay, I see what you did there, movie.
And
That's the only thing I got though.
it's visually an incredibly shot film. Like, it's like every frame of painting territory.
Yeah.
It's very good. Um, I recommend it. And then maybe fucking tell me what it's about,
Us
please.
both, because
Someone
we're lost.
hurt my. I think I'm very good at picking out most subtext, but Jesus, damn,
We're just getting too old for this shit.
and I'm too old for this shit. And I'm Murdoch. Damn. So, last, certainly not least, one of the most iconic Chuck Norris roles ever, Invasion USA.
Oh God. That
This,
movie was like the prototypical action film. It
this,
had
yeah,
literally everything you would expect from an 80s action film.
fake Eastern European communist terrorists. Yep, invading the U.S. Multicultural, multiracial communist army invading the
Very
U.S.
communist, yes.
And the pure white man of Chuck Norris must eliminate the foreign invaders. That's literally the message of this film.
Mhm.
Say what you want. I don't agree with any of those ideals, That's what this movie's about, basically.
You know the character that Arnold Schwarzenegger is supposed to play in The Last Action Hero, like the actor, the character that he as an actor portrays in the movies
Hmm.
within the movie. That is the character. This is the movie that was like the prototype
Hmm.
for that
You
character.
mean Sidekicks, by the way? That's the movie where he
No,
plays all his different versions of himself from past movies.
Last Action. Yeah, I'm talking about
Oh,
Arnold
oh,
Schwarzenegger. Last
Sidekicks
Action Hero.
is. I thought you were talking about a Chuck Norris film. Like, Sidekicks is the one where he. Okay, never mind. Sidekicks rules. That's it. I'm in the Sidekicks rules team. That being said, okay, my cynical ass take on this film can also be applied to Assault on Precinct 13. Oh, that good white officer's got to fight against that multicultural gang that's attacking them to save the purity of law and justice. Ding! Now, Carpenter's smart because he does, in fact, put racial tension inside the jail, too, so. Because he wasn't trying to make that. But I'm saying my cynical ass take on Invasion USA can be applied to other things. Unfairly, it's also unfair to Invasion USA to whittle it down to that either. I'm just being
This reminds
honest.
me, like I saw the fucking clip the other day of somebody at a fucking John Carpenter was at a convention,
Oh,
and
yeah.
somebody asked him a question about. They asked him a question about uh, what was it?
I don't know.
Shit, Escape from New York, right?
Yeah.
And they're talking about how Escape from New York was so good, but then the follow up to it, Escape from L.A. What happened there? And John Carpenter, before the guy even finishes saying, "What happened there?" He says, "Fuck you." He just
Amazing. Fuck yeah. That's the
old
attitude right there.
chested. Fuck you.
Just fuck you. Yeah, respect is like the problem is he's
Fucking
been disrespected
beautiful.
his whole fucking career. So
Yeah, yeah,
I understand it. Like, do I agree you do that? No, but guess what? John Carpenter is fucking mad because he's gotten fucked over by the studios and the fans talk shit about him, and a lot of
yeah,
them talk negatively or use without even realizing it. You know what happened there, bitch? I made a movie. Fuck off. You like it or you didn't
yeah.
like it? Like,
Exactly.
fuck, dude. Anyway, Invasion
Uh,
USA is a fun little film. They blow up like a billion houses because apparently the whole neighborhood is being demolished to turn into an expansion to the Atlanta airport, but it later became a shopping mall. I don't know how that happens. Anyway, I, I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, so they have to blow up a bunch of houses. It's very impressive. There are explosions for no reason all the time, constantly. It is 107 minutes and like 85 of those minutes are explosions.
and it's set during Christmas time, so
Also,
explosions during Christmas time.
it's also a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
Yep, we're that kind of
I
podcast.
would say
Sorry.
like
Ho ho
when
ho. I've got a machine gun.
when did when did this movie come out?
1985.
So it was right there in there
Yeah.
with like Die Hard and all that.
No,
Yeah,
but I'm saying like someone's like
interesting.
Die Hard's not a Christmas movie, and I'd be like, so is Invasion USA is also a Christmas movie. Ho ho ho! I've got a machine gun. Like that's two
Or in
on
this
one.
case, ho ho ho! Now I've got a fucking rocket launcher.
Oh yeah, that's true. Like Invasion USA, Die Hard would be the like all American Christmas viewing, and a Christmas story because we're fucking not we're suckers for
Yeah,
tradition.
you Die Hard 1, Die Hard 2, and Invasion USA. Fucking
Fuck Die
triple
Hard
bill
2.
for the ages. Well, Die Hard 2 is also a Christmas movie though. So
Whatever. Fucking, I thought it was Thanksgiving that he was on Dallas Airport
nope, it's
because
Christmas.
it's snowing either way. Um,
Yeah.
but no, people were like, "It's not a Christmas movie, bitch. It's at a Christmas party. It's at a Christmas party.
Yeah.
Ho ho ho! I have a machine gun. What more do you fucking want? You know? Christmas music. There's fucking Christmas music. There's a fucking Christmas present given to somebody. For fuck's sakes, how many things do you need? That's Christmas. It's a fucking Christmas movie set during Christmas. Killing terrorists is like well within the bounds of the Christmas spirit, okay?
Yes. There's nothing more Christian than killing terrorists.
that's Jesus for you. Oh, Jesus Christ. Literally. Anyway, I liked Invasion USA. I recommend it if you like boom boom explodies. Don't go in expecting anything resembling a plot. It's just boom boom explodies.
Yeah. It's fun. Watch it. You'll enjoy it. Even if you think it's cheesy as fuck, you're gonna have fun. And for that matter, same goes for Adventures of Pluto Nash.
Yeah.
Also watch that. It's cheesy and fun.
Like all these movies, most of the movies we've given thumbs up to, I'm probably gonna buy most of them. Like I would buy Invasion USA now because I've seen it.
Mhm. Same. And I would buy, I'm not even lying, I would buy Adventures of Pluto Nash. Yeah.
Damn.
Especially since it's probably very, very fucking cheap because nobody wants it.
Yeah, it's probably like $10 or less, isn't it?
I can't
Damn.
imagine it being more than $10. That'd be insane.
I'd be unless it's a lavish collector's edition, I'd be offended. If it's like an Arrow set, I'd be like, all right, here. It's like I either want it less than $10 or I want it more than $35 and better be limited, bitch, and it better come a poster and a booklet and a second disc full of special
Yeah.
features and fucking an essay and like then I'll give you that money. Yep.
Where's my vinegar syndrome version? That'd be interesting.
And yeah, and like
But yes.
Timbit in the chat said, getting a film made alone is a journey. Getting distribution and accolades is not guaranteed. This is very true.
Yeah, exactly.
And yes, he did use gift wrap in Die Hard near the end. You're right. See? Like the fucking Christmas movie. You fucking soulless bastards.
Yeah, exactly. And in Invasion USA, it's Christmas time, and they're like families putting lights
One
up on the
scene.
tree, and then
But
and
yes,
then immediately their houses are being fucking destroyed, obliterated
by
by
communist
terrorists,
multicultural, multiracial,
communist bastards.
communist invaders. Oh god damn, man. That is like I look at those movies and like they're not doing it intentionally. I know it because they're not smart enough. Look,
Yeah.
Joseph Zito liked to make the boom boom exploding movies. He's not fucking smart enough to understand the subtext. Okay, he just made a fucking movie. Someone put the subtext of basically racism. Pew pew.
Yeah.
That's the fucking
Yes.
xenophobia and racism. Pew pew pew.
Nothing more American than that.
Yeah, and on Christmas, nothing more American than that. Bam. But yeah,
Well, that's why it's got to be multicultural because Christmas and all the traditions of it have been stolen from many different cultures. So yeah.
right. Oh, all right. After that 2-hour journey through our nearly a month's worth of movies since our last episode, I think we are finally done.
Yay!
Do you have any suggestions or last words?
Do if anybody remembers me talking about the Ken Burns documentary, do go ahead and check that out. If you, I mean, I know there are so many people out there like another Holocaust documentary. I get it, but it's Ken Burns. It's good. It's good. So yeah, and it's free. It's on PBS. It's on their website for free. Free.
Yeah. I would say.
Oh yeah. Also, don't watch the new Jeepers Creepers movie. Stop
Stop them
talking
money.
about it. Stop even
Stop it.
acknowledging it. Just don't.
Stop it. Snack the fuck off.
It's ultimately Jeepers Creepers is the property of the guy, and he is going to make money off this. So just don't.
Yep.
Just stop.
Oh, there's a recommendation. There's this movie. It's the G word, the slur for Asian people. That's the name of the movie. It's made by an Asian American, and it's set during the 1992 LA riots. And it's just really great, low budget film shot in black and white from 2017. It's on Tubi and Peacock and Prime. You have no fucking excuses. It's for free. It's on Vudu free, Plex free, Canopy if you're in fucking Canada land. Freevee I've never even heard of.
I've heard of
FilmRise
it, yeah.
and Prime Video. Like, you need to fucking see this G slur word movie I can't say because it'll get me banned off Twitch. Even though in the movie he explains where the word comes from. It's actually the Korean word for homeland or home or land. Homeland.
Oh,
I'm pretty
wow.
sure homeland. Yeah. And he talks about all the different names of the areas in Korean, and it is a punchline. It's really great. Anyway, it's actually a really great movie. Like, it's really great. Talks about people basically just trying to better themselves in this high crime, high poverty area. And yeah, totally worth your time. By Justin Chon. 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 Yeah, that's my recommendation for the week.
Oh, yeah.
I
Also, go check out Rain Without Thunder, which is also free.
Rain Without Thunder. Which is
Lightning Without Thunder. Oh, sorry.
Rain Without Thunder.
Rain Without Thunder.
It's on
Rain Without
Tubi.
Thunder.
Yes, absolutely. Go watch that. That's good shit. We will see you all someday. Hopefully in 2 weeks.
At some point in
Hopefully
the
in
future,
2 weeks. Knock on wood.
we will be back.
I hope you all have a lovely time and see lots of great movies. Bye, everyone. My camera's slowly moving.